In 2025, the world began to witness a major shift on the battlefield. Bradley and M113, two armored vehicles that had long been staples, seemed to be losing their relevance in Ukraine. How could this happen? How could two vehicles that were once highly regarded by the West and Ukraine find themselves in such a situation? To understand this, we need to look back at the report released on January 8, 2025. The United States, as part of its commitment to supporting Ukraine in the conflict that began on February 24, 2022, announced it had sent over $65.9 billion in military aid. Included in this aid package were about 300 Bradley Infantry Fighting Vehicles and more than 900 M113 Armored Personnel Carriers. A significant number, but was it enough to face the large threats on the battlefield? Clearly, this raised a big question. The reality on the ground tells a different story. Bradley, which was expected to be a driving force for Ukrainian troops, began to show its weaknesses. Despite being equipped with strong firepower and good protection, in practice, Bradley struggled to break through Russia's increasingly fortified defense lines. Russia's evolving military tactics caused the capabilities of these combat vehicles to become sidelined. Unnoticed, Bradley began to struggle against the fierce resistance of the increasingly organized and skilled Russian forces. A striking incident occurred in the bridge area near the Kursk Oblast. The 83rd Airborne Brigade reported a shocking situation where Bradley and M113 were lying sideways under the bridge they had attempted to cross. Smoke began rising from these vehicles, indicating they were no longer functional. Russian forces, who had taken control of the Kursk area, carefully destroyed these combat vehicles, sending a clear message that the equipment used by Ukraine was insufficient to withstand the pressure. However, the battle around Kursk was not the only challenge faced by Ukrainian forces. In the Sumy region, Russian special forces, with all their expertise, continue to actively destroy Ukrainian military equipment. They are working hard to prevent Ukrainian forces from advancing further into Russian territory. Not only that, but they are also using FPV drones very effectively. These drones, operated with high skill, can destroy targets deemed to be a major threat to Russia. One particularly dramatic moment occurred when Russian forces from Sumy were heading toward Kursk, and a Russian FPV drone successfully destroyed a Ukrainian superhowitzer named Bodana. This 155mm caliber howitzer, made in Ukraine, was designed to enhance Ukraine's artillery capabilities and was already up to NATO standards. However, fate had other plans. With incredible speed and precision, the FPV drone flew low and approached Bodana, perfectly detonating it. A destruction so fast and effective, almost proving that even advanced combat equipment can be broken by more agile modern tactics. This story illustrates a change that is happening in the way battles are fought. Combat vehicles like the Bradley and M113, which were once heavily relied upon, are now starting to seem less effective against the new threats emerging on the battlefield. Drones, more flexible tactics, and evolving technology are changing the landscape of modern warfare. This is where we begin to see that these vehicles may no longer qualify as the main force in combat. Behind the United States' decision to send military aid to Ukraine, there is a regrettable dimension. While the main intention seems to be providing support to defend Ukraine, many suspect that a hidden agenda is to test their combat vehicles in a real battlefield. Additionally, there is a more secretive aspect, where sensitive components are intentionally separated and withheld from shipments to prevent advanced technology from falling into the hands of the enemy. This step is taken to avoid the possibility of the opposing side exploiting weaknesses in captured vehicles, to reverse engineer the technology and create new threats. The battlefield in Ukraine has become a laboratory for many countries, especially large military powers like the US Army. One of the clearest examples is the deployment of Bradley IFVs there. With the number of Bradleys being deployed, the US Army has become more aware of the need to continually adapt and develop their combat vehicles. One of the efforts is to modernize the Bradley IFV, which is reported to have started in early 2025. One of the newest systems introduced is the Vehicle Protection System Base Kit. This system uses sensors mounted at the corners of the Bradley turret, providing 360-degree threat detection capability. With this technology, the combat vehicle can identify incoming laser threats. The presence of these advanced sensors provides the crew with more time to respond and enhances their situational awareness, which is undoubtedly invaluable in a battlefield full of uncertainty. The main threat faced on the modern battlefield is laser-guided weapons. Usually, the enemy uses these systems to lock onto combat vehicles in guided missile attacks or anti-tank weapons. In this context, the new capabilities of the Bradley IFV are crucial. With quicker and more accurate information about the origin of the threat, the Bradley crew has a greater chance to counter and avoid the attack. However, despite the technological improvements to the Bradley, is this combat vehicle sufficiently prepared to face the increasing capabilities of the weapons and technology held by Russian forces, who are constantly innovating with deadly weaponry? Additionally, another significant challenge is the presence of drones, which have now dominated the battlefield with their speed, agility, and increasing destructive power. If the latest upgrade is to be sent to Ukraine, can the upgraded Bradley IFV handle drones' threat? Leave your thoughts and thanks for watching.